Most anime seem to have one character that just outsparks all the others. The ones that do it in the best way are literally as strong as gods. Now, a main character being extremely overpowered isn't anything new in anime. It's been going around since the very beginning of this art form, in all honesty. Gods and deities have always had this gigantic powers and amazing stories. Bringing these stories to life in the anime art form was something that the Japanese were amazing at. Whether it be a character like Naruto, who slowly and gradually unearths and heightens his powers and skills, or a character like One Punch Man, a literal god from the very beginning. Let's talk about 10 anime main characters who are literally so strong, you could call them gods. As always, guys, before we get into the video, I just really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. More than 80% of you aren't subscribed to the channel, and it helps me a lot when you do so. It's completely free, and you can always change your mind later. So, let's get into the video. 10. Unlimited Psychic Squad. When I originally started watching this anime, I thought to myself, just another series with cool young people using superpowers that they randomly got and became superhero wannabes. Of course, that all changed the more I kept watching, and soon I was hooked. After this point, I fully embraced this spin-off as my eyes were glued to the screen throughout the entirety of its 12-episode run. Manglobe's Ultimate Psychic Squad is their most formidable evolution of the supernatural genre in anime. In fact, it even takes it a notch further into the superhero world and introduces superpowers, along with a wonderfully thought-provoking storyline starring none other than everyone's favorite, 𝐜𝐴 Now, to talk about 𝐜𝐴 without talking about how strong he is would be a crime. 𝐜𝐴 is one of the few ESPers who has the ability to acquire the powers of literally anyone that dies in front of him. So, he's essentially a sponge for all powers. This means that he has even more abilities than Fujiko Tsubumi, who was originally known to be the strongest ESPer to date. With some downright gorgeous animations and amazing action scenes, Ultimate Psychic Squad is one you should put in your watch list. 9. The Misfit of Demon King Academy. If you're looking for a shonen anime with a main character that will be protected by literally every single piece of plot armor until they randomly gain a power-up or activate a hidden strength and they're revealed to be the strongest hero of all time, The Misfit of Demon King Academy will not be the show for you. Who's it for then? Well, anyone in store for a mature, level-headed, and respectable main character that actually has a personality you can fall in love with. Tired of main characters who are unable to control their emotions? Well, Anos is the best choice for you. An absolutely stoic and yet caring and honest. Anos is a man who has basically resolved all of his inner conflicts thousands of years ago and is now in full control of his body, mind, and soul. His mission is now to guide those under him through the same path of self-respect as he is. Seiken Tsukai no World Break. World Break, Aria of Curse for a Holy Swordsman, is a really long title for sure, but this series is one for the ages, with one of the best stories in the fantasy genre to date. The story itself takes place at the Arcane Private Academy, where special students with the power to see memories of their powerful ancestors train to master the ancient arts. The story focuses on Moroha, our average run-of-the-mill high school student who becomes the real incarnation of the fantasy genre itself. At the beginning, he gains his powers to win a fight. However, as soon as the next episode hits, he turns into a genuine monster-slaying god. He has so much power that after episode 2, he becomes the 7th S-rank savior in the world of the series, which is just 2 weeks after his powers awaken. From there onwards, Moroha's power only increases further and further, until he becomes such a heroic personality that he kicks ass on unseen levels even for the fantasy genre. Zetman. Zetman follows the story of 2 rivals, Zet and Alphas, showcasing how their rivalry grew from ever since they were children to adulthood and carrying on into their superhero life as they both strive to do the right thing and be just heroes for the world. To talk about Zetman without talking about Zet would be counterproductive. Calling Jin a superhero would be nothing short of an understatement. He is in fact the genuine demon of justice. He saves lives, but there's almost always a price to pay. Sometimes he can't manage to save everyone. He's a difficult character to read, however. The one thing that isn't difficult about him is how absolutely godlike his powers are. When he turns into Zet, he gains the usual superhuman speed, strength, and agility. However, you combine that with his high-level expertise in combat tactics, his super fast regeneration and reflexes, Zet turns into a nightmare to stand against. He takes on hundreds of enemies every single day, an overpowered legend. Plunderer. Unlike most of the characters on this list, Leaked from Plunderer is literally a god when you realize his true power levels. Althea is a world where each person's value and power is determined by counts. These are numbers engraved on a person's body, representing their overall standing. Leaked Bach is a mysterious man who has an overly negative overall count. When a young woman named Hina finds herself in trouble with the military, Leaked steps in to kick some ass. This is where we find out that his negative count is a facade. He has another count with a white star, known as the legendary Ace. When it comes to power, Leaked is a demigod. He has superhuman strength and an overall count of 300,000 just at the start, higher than anyone else in the series. He's so strong from the get-go that he takes down entire armies, and his kill count goes from 5,700 to 57,000. He has superhuman speed, superhuman strength and agility. In his Red Baron form, he can manipulate shockwaves and blasts as well as gain the ability to literally fly. K. At its core, K's story revolves around a murder and the effect it has on a growing feud between two extremely powerful clans. The first few episodes make you want more, without revealing much, making the audience go through the same emotions that Yashiro does as his life turns upside down. However, after the latter half, K turns into a roller coaster ride of emotions that I personally am not going to forget for a while. The main character in K is the driving force of the show. Almost the entirety of the plot revolves around Yashiro's journey from a high school student to being caught in a gang war he has no clue about. At some point though, he unlocks the king's powers and becomes an absolute beast. He's a highly skilled battle tactician and can make life or death choices within a matter of split seconds. He also has the power to defy gravity. He makes himself levitate, and others as well. He's quite literally immortal, so he just can't die. And he cannot be damaged, so if you stab him, the knife will break. Ichiban Ushiro no Daimao, Akuto Sai transfers himself to the Constant Magic Academy to become powerful enough to change the world. He befriends Janko Hattori, and they promise to make the world a better place together. However, a random prophecy comes to show that Akuto was destined to become the Demon King. Everyone begins to fear him as his destiny becomes known, and Junko's trust in him begins to break. Akuto's battle isn't just against enemies, but also against his own fate. But no matter what he does, Demon King fate of his is completely sealed, and his powers keep reinforcing that. Navigating through this terrible fate, Akuto must also use his incredibly strong powers to battle his enemies and to not give in to his physical urges to become the Demon King. With this newly renewed prophecy and his brand new powers, Akuto must battle not just his fate, but also the constantly growing list of complications that keep arising. Kaze no Stigma. When I originally started watching this series, I thought to myself that this anime would get dropped by me after a few episodes. However, when I began watching it, it managed to suck me into its world to the end. The reason? Kazuma Yagami, the powerful as hell main character. At first glance, Kazuma feels like the typical distant yet nice guy with a disturbing and dark past. However, the more you learn to understand this character, the more you get hooked to the series. A highly skilled Fujitsu expert, he has the power to summon wind magic, such as wind tornadoes, wind pushes and pulls along with flight, projectile redirection, and even invisibility. Arifureta Shokugyo de Seikai Saikyo. I'm going to be honest, this anime has a bit of a soft spot in my heart. I love when a main character is super overpowered and always manages to conquer the problems in front of him in style. A lot of people believe that it's corny, but I don't really care because as far as I know, it's always fun. Arifureta is super enjoyable from the very first episode. Hajime Nagumo starts out as a weak one. However, he gains power through suffering. He goes through a ton of turmoil in the deepest depths of his world to awaken his mystical mutation powers and turns into a literal demigod. He breaks through all barriers of power. He has immense strength, speed, and durability, as well as reflexes and understanding of combat. He has so much mana that he could be throwing spells around left and right and not run out of it. He's also a great inventor and craftsman, creating some of the most unique and powerful gadgets for combat and leisure, as well as a master tactician. BlazBlue Alter Memory. Anime that are based on video games are usually never the best. However, BlazBlue Alter Memory breaks through that trope and has obviously gained my attention. The first episode might be hard to understand, but you'll catch on soon and fall absolutely in love with this series. It's so good that you can't help but spend your entire time binge watching it. It's set in a futuristic world at the cusp of the 23rd century to begin. When the main character has a bounty put on him, he realizes that the only way he'll ever get to accomplish his goals is to fight everything. Ragna is absolutely overpowered. He doesn't just have the usual super strength, speed, durability, reflexes, intelligence, and agility, but he also has a drive called Soul Eater that lets him absolutely devour his enemy's powers. He uses his grimoire sword to slash through his enemies, and does it all in style too. This anime is one for the ages, and you should definitely check it out just for Ragna. That's all for this video, guys. If you liked the video, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon. It helps me a lot. It's free, and y'all know you can change your mind later at any given moment. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!